Hello, Justice Warriors. Come on in. We're getting together here in the evening on Monday, August 5th. It just kind of was like a non planned, what do you call that? Spontaneity. I don't even know the word. Spontaneous. There we go. Okay, get the brain going. Get the brain in gear. Where's my Java? Where's my Joe? So, yeah, I thought tomorrow is Kylie Rodney's second anniversary since the date that she allegedly went missing. So we're on the eve of it, and I just felt compelled to come on live for a number of reasons, but that was the main one. So I'm really happy to be here, even if I'm flying solo. You know how I say I do cherish my solitude. However, the whole point of coming on live is to interact with you guys. So if you're able to hear and let me know if you can hear me okay. Again, I've misplaced my freaking mic, so hopefully we're all right without it. Oh, where to start? I think just starting with Kylie and just with the regular, hit that Incredible Hulk thumbs up if you'd be so kind. Make sure you're still subscribed and all that good stuff. Who's here? Jackie Bushable. You're flying solo also. So cool to see you, Jackie Bushable. You're like a dear old friend, a dear old cyber friend. Thank you for being here and thanks for saying hi. So make sure you're still subscribed if you are indeed subscribed. And if you're not, please consider hitting that button. It doesn't cost you anything, no commitment, blah, blah, blah. Share a video of mine if you like. Turn on your notification bell to ring if you want to be notified. I dropped like 8 or 9 videos the other night. They're all terrible. Don't watch them. I'm serious. You can watch them. Otherwise, I would have kept them private. I was like, should I make them members only? Should I make them public? They're just me singing. And, it's a very emotional process for me because I have this book of songs that I love singing out of, that I've been singing out of for years. And the last time I really sang out of it, I'll try not to cry, until I think it was Saturday night. The last time I really sang out of it was for my mother on her deathbed. So, yeah, 2 years ago, 2.5 almost. I don't know. I lose track of time. Anyway, it's been really emotional. I've barely been able to sing since then. It's been this real emotional process. So, last year on the 4th of July, I recorded a couple of songs in the studio, and then I got them up and running. And then there was a terrible fatal bicycle accident around the corner from my house. And I thought it was my kid. So that was traumatic. So that was the first time that I had sang since my mother had passed. So that was the 4th of July last year. That was in complete insanity, and what a blessing that it wasn't my kid, but it was somebody else's. So just horrible and devastating. And I just was kind of like stuck, like, it's hard for me to get going with singing when I've got all of that baggage around it. So I just belted out a few of my favorites a cappella. The sound's not that great, I'm not that great, but hey, it is what it is. I'm very inspired. I've been getting all obsessed. Jackie Bushable. Yeah. Oh no. Well, they're on my video page. Most of my videos are live, but the 9 songs are on my video page. And yeah, it's absolutely devastating. Like I said, it was a year ago, the 4th of July, right around the corner from where I live. And not a day goes by that I don't think about it and how lucky I am and how unlucky somebody else is. So, wow. Anyway, with that heavy heart, I'm trying to just be inspired and be spontaneous. And I've been getting extremely inspired by this band that I'm newly obsessed with, AJR. So I've posted a couple of their songs on my community feed, And if you don't know AJR yet, it's Adam, Jack, and Ryan, these three brothers from New York City. Check them out. You probably do know their song. Oh, I want to say Burn, but that's not what it's called. It's escaping me. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Bang. That's the name of the song. I just pick up the phone and then my brain starts functioning. It's like this thing needs to be like attached to me brain, right? Okay, so the AJR song that most people know is called Bang. It's an amazing song, but there's probably like 5 or 10 songs of theirs that you know that you don't know that are them because of the nature of music these days. And, you know, they're like a TikTok YouTube band, basically, and they're internet kids, so to speak. They're roughly 30, give or take. The middle one, I think, is 30. And then the younger one, Jack's the youngest. He's 26. And then Adam is the oldest. He's 32. Ryan's in the middle. He's the one with this synesthesia, if I can even say it. So they're just extremely talented and brilliant and honest. So, like I said, I've been getting extremely inspired by them, and their father passed away a year ago. Nico, all in for Taylor. Yeah, I was going to talk about Taylor Casey. So AJR's dad, Adam, Jack, and Ryan's father passed away a year ago. They were very close with him, and he really inspired them to do their music. And in their concert that I went to, they said that the biggest message that they'd like to give everybody that their father drilled into their heads and that they're so grateful for this. And I thought this was a really unique thing. I'd never heard or thought about it like this. Be the biggest version of yourself that you can be. So I'm trying to take that to heart because they really hit a chord in me. Hello, Annabes. Good to see you guys. So look at us. It's the 4 of us. We're having a tea party here the evening of Kiely Rodney's anniversary of her disappearance. So Truth Seeker just dropped another one, you guys. Extremely poignant and eerie. And I think that that content creator is on to something. I don't like to say that because it's really dark and really sinister, but I think that that's what we're dealing with. And I think 2 years out with not even a freaking motor vehicle accident report from the California Highway Patrol, it speaks for itself. It's a huge effing cover-up of something. And I don't think they're covering up a teenager driving herself in the water. I mean, that whole thing is ludicrous. No water in the lungs, in the boot of the car, as the British like to say. I like that, the boot. And just all the weirdness. Like, where's the hundreds of videos of people at the party and the videos of people making videos, right? Remember that one? One of the many, many lines of bull. So In Your Presence is in Tahoe, Truckee right now. That content creator, In Your Presence. Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the Honey Badger. I got really confused because she kept changing her name of her channel because she had to because of problems. So I believe that that's accurate and that she is in Truckee and that she's posting some videos, like one that she just posted maybe like 10 or 12 hours ago. She's walking around in the deli that surveillance still shot is taken in. And you can see in her little 3-minute video that it's the same setting. I still don't think that's Kiely. I think that that's Scami. And the fact that Scami was standing in front of that still shot in the community center with Lindsay making out with her, allegedly. Oh, everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of starting a conversation, hoping to open up a discussion, hoping to learn something, to be educational. And all of the videos that I've made have been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I've also been doing a ton of yoga videos. So I'm not trying to bore you guys to death. I'm just, trying to be the biggest version of myself, like AJR recommended. So, I'm just shooting from the hip and just doing what inspires me and what I feel the need to do. So, if you are joining me for the ride, I really appreciate your company. If it's not your cup of tea, I'm not offended because, it's a mix. It's a mix of true crime and yoga and music and art. It's my therapy. It's my art therapy. That's what this YouTube is. So it's my content creative therapy. And I love it. And I really appreciate you guys for being here with me. It is nice to have company. I don't think that picture is Kiely either. Yeah. Well, so one of the things that Seeker of Truth says in this most recent video, that's a lot like the other most recent videos, they're all just chilling and brilliant, in my opinion. Let's see, I got to check out your yoga videos to help with my neck and shoulder pain. Oh, it's a lot of neck and shoulder stuff and a lot of hip stuff, a lot of knee stuff. I'm completely loving it. I still think the deli is Kiely, but also think it was tampered with. Well, it was definitely tampered with because whatever it was that she was carrying is like airbrushed out. She's got no purse, she's got no merchandise. But no, it took me a long time. It took me probably a year to agree that maybe it wasn't Kiely, and then a few months to determine for myself that it's not Kiely. I still have an open mind about it, but I really don't think it's her. All along, I thought it doesn't look like any other pictures of her, but then that's the way pictures are, is that every single picture of us can look different. Anyway, back to the point of what I was saying about Truth Seeker's most recent video. And just one of the many poignant things that is conveyed is, I don't know anything about this, you guys. Something about August 4th at that large casino hotel in Reno. So something about August 4th. So I don't know. I've never caught wind of anything from August 4th. But I do believe that it's highly likely that whatever happened to Kiely happened prior to August 6th. And then August 6th was staged to make it look like she disappeared. I think plan A was to try to make it look like she ran off into the sunset, the Lana Del Rey sweatshirt. And then they tried the abducted thing. That wasn't really a good idea because ultimately it's my opinion that she was abducted. So they tried to act like some other dude did it, right? Or some other dudes did it, not the ones there in Truckee. But no, I think that the people who started accusing random mystery folks out in the ether of abducting her, that was the pot calling the kettle black. That's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what they did. And they was telling on themselves the way these scum of the earth people do. I'm 100% sure the fire cam crap was a hoax. Yeah, and Shan has been doing a lot of great work on fire cam hoax. It's completely insane, like the dates and the times and just how they say this, that, and the other thing. But you got to remember the content creator that was behind it, because it was that one certain content creator. I don't want to give him a shout out. I don't want to give him a beat down. I'm just going to leave it at that. But he was in cahoots with SF Investigates and Zanime and MC Ultra, in my opinion. And he was the one who did the overlays and tried to explain it to everybody and said, if you still don't get it and you're seeing this and I'm spoon feeding it to you, then you're just an idiot and I can't help you. That guy. Like, what a freaking jerk. And was he paid off? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's my opinion that if you're a content creator and you're going along with the status quo, in a sense, you're being paid off because you're benefiting by buying into a certain narrative. And to me, what's most important is not buying into any narrative. It's trying to find the freaking truth. And sometimes we think we found the truth. Honestly, in this world of artificial intelligence and YouTube land, we may never know in a lot of these situations what's true and what's utter bullcrap, right? But we're trying to figure that out for ourselves. And, we all have our own personal story of what brought us here and why this justice seeking and truth finding is so meaningful to us. But for me, it keeps me inspired. It keeps me moving forward. It propels me. It motivates me. It's part of what makes me tick, really. So I feel like I have to do it. If I can, I have to. So here I am. And from the first time I saw that pic, I thought it didn't look like her. That's what I thought, Anna B's. But then I thought, okay, it's just a picture that caught her at a different angle with a different expression, blah, blah, blah. See, that's the thing that makes it so easy for gaslighters to gaslight is most of us aren't thinking that everybody's lying all the time. We're thinking that things are what they say they are. We take things at face value. Even if we take things at face value with a healthy amount of skepticism, we still try to rule out this as being the truth to begin with. So it makes it really easy for liars to lie. People like JP and people like Scami. So the power of suggestion is huge. All anyone had to say is, here's a picture of Kiely, and we're all like locking in on it. Like, yeah, that's a picture of Kiely. And then for some of us, when somebody said, no, that's not a picture of Kiely, that's a picture of Scami. Again, the power of suggestion. It looks just like Scami, but I've meditated on it for hours and hours and hours. It's the chin. Kiely has kind of a almond shaped chin, and Scami has like the dimple in her chin and a real square chin. And the person in that photograph has the dimple in the chin and the square chin. It's also there's like a I don't know if it's like a muscle spasm or a skin blemish. There's some kind of anomaly on Sammy's face. I think it's on her right cheek near her eye. And I think it might just be the way her skin dimples up when she smiles. But you see that in that last proof of life still shot too. And then there's the shadow in the breastplate that some people think is Scami's tat. And for a long time, I thought it was just a shadow. It's hard to decipher. I mean, when you look at pictures too long, you start hallucinating anyway, right? But, the length of the hair was always wrong. The hairline was always wrong. The eyebrows were always wrong. The expression on the face is that smug, scammy look. That, I think, was what threw me the most in the beginning, was kind of that smug, cocky expression that I could never imagine Kiely being smug and cocky. But I thought, she's just walking around a store getting ready to go to a party. She's in a good mood. She's feeling smug and cocky, and she's got it painted on her face. But no, it's Scami's smug, cocky look. And then there's the two cell phones in the pockets. It looks like there's a cell phone on each side, one on the right thigh, one on the left thigh. So I really think that she probably had Kiely's phone and her phone. before she ditched Kylie's phone in the water after she like called herself and texted herself and all that good stuff. Texted Kylie's mom from Kylie's phone. In my humble opinion. Okay, let's see. Hot August nights. Granny Annie, that's what August 4th was, because August 6th was Hot August nights too. The 6th was Friday, Saturday. I think that was Saturday, right? I'd have to look at the calendar. Why don't I? And then, so the 4th would have been like that Thursday, and that would have been Hot August nights. So let's just say August of 2022. Looking at the calendar. August of 2022. So yeah, Saturday was the 6th, Friday was the 5th, and Thursday was the 4th. So yeah, that would make sense. You're saying that the Hot August nights started on the 4th. Is that correct? The big old car show. Right. And Jägermeister was a car guy. He was a photographer who specifically photographed cars. So he probably would have gone. Kiely, did Kiely go with him on the 4th? Because she had already gone, right? So is that what you guys are talking about? Is that what I've missed? Just like, whoosh. So Kiely went to Hot August nights on the 4th. Is that what Seeker of Truth is saying in her video? And that's what you guys are saying? I'm going to try to speed read so I can get caught up. Hell's Angels possibly held convention in Sparks too. Ooh, dear. And let's see, maybe they altered the date of the picture. And you're probably talking about the last proof of life. How did it go with the meetup, or are you doing it today? What meetup? Tomorrow. Oh, I'm like, am I doing a meetup? So CB is doing a meetup. Very cool. If you want to share, I see that anomaly on her on her right cheek. Thank you, Annabise. Yeah, yeah. I think it's like a dimple from smiling, but maybe it's like a scar too, like that then shows up as a dimple when she smiles. I don't know, but it's very distinctive. Yep. Scammy alert. Nico, are you saying that you looked at the picture again and you saw the thing and the chin? And yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kylie's got really distinctive eyes. In my opinion, Kylie's eyes almost are like little cat eyes, even without her fancy eyeliner. Her eyes kind of tilt in a really cool I Dream a Genie kind of way. And the person in that picture just has regular eyes. So, and the eyebrows too. Those are Scammy's eyebrows, not Kylie's, in my humble opinion. So I'm so curious about the meetup. What is up with that? So weekend event set up longer for hauling in vehicles. Yes, she went on the 4th. Thank you so much, Anna B. So that is probably very, very significant, right? And so that's when shit started to go sideways, perhaps. You felt Kiely maybe disappeared sooner. I have given credit to Crime Watch with Kenny and to Mr. Mark. I know others have said that too, but those two have said it the most. And at first, I didn't really think very much of it. Like, I thought, sure, it's possible. But the more time that passes, the more that things don't add up. Yeah, I think that something happened to her prior to the 5th and the 6th. And then they tried to stage this whole thing where they could say, oh, look, she's missing. And let's just say it's in the event that she's being trafficked. I don't want to say that, but I do think that that's part of the picture. So if she was being trafficked, say starting on the 4th, and then they wanted to keep trafficking her, or they wanted to dispose of her so that she couldn't rat anybody out, then they'd have this elaborate staged scene of her disappearance. So then if she's disappeared, then they don't ever have to account for her. But they did account for her. Somebody, in my opinion, placed her, or a vehicle that looked like hers with her in it, in that water so that they could just wrap it up and be done with it. Like, things were just too out of control, and they wanted to be able to wrap it up tight, put a bow on it, put it on the shelf. But in all honesty, it's my opinion that those are not her remains. So, you know, when you're trying to ungaslight yourself, it makes you sound like the Nutty Bunny, right? So it's much easier just to go along with their bullcrap narrative and go, oh, okay, so that you don't look crazy, right? But who freaking cares? If people are going to judge, people are going to judge. Things are not what they say they are with Kiely. We're coming up on 2 years since the 16-year-old kid disappeared, and it's my belief that she's either deceased or she's still being tortured, like Elizabeth Smart when she was in captivity for 9 or 10 months. Imagine what Elizabeth Smart lived through. Not a lot of people would live through, and part of her living through it was sheer luck or the grace of God, however you want to say it. She could have passed away so many different times from so many different things. I don't know if you know the whole story, but at one point she was chained up out in San Diego without water for a week, you guys, in the blazing heat. So the fact that she lived through that is a miracle. She lived through many miracles, but she was also assaulted in that most intimate, disgusting, horrifying way every day, except for that week that she was dying of thirst because the abuser had been nabbed by the police and he was in jail for a week. So had he stayed in jail, she would have died from dehydration. I mean, it's crazy. And yeah, that other crazy Hezbollah woman was out there with her. But I mean, that whole thing was just freaking nuts. Anyway, my point is that people can survive these things, and that these scenes and scenarios are crazier than you could ever imagine. So, spent the day at Sanctuary in Prosser yesterday. CB, I'm so confused. Are you hanging out within your presence, or are you in your presence? Because she was there yesterday too, right? But maybe I don't know if you guys met up or if you're one and the same. It's so hard to keep track of all this, but it's fun trying, isn't it? That's wild. I'm so curious what you felt and what your instinct and intuition bestowed upon you. And Nico, yes, fire cam, scam, shut them up and move them on. And then they put viruses in everybody's computer that they sent them to. Freaking jerks. And hello, Sherry. Nice to see you. CB, I forgot you have connections there. That's cool, CB. Some have felt didn't come home from Mexico. Right. We do get dancers down there. Usually they are rugged up, in my opinion. Right. I mean, when people are being trafficked, they're definitely rugged up. That's how they do it. That's how it's done. And yeah, where's Kylie's flippin' passport? If she did go to Mexico, she would have to have a passport. And if that's not materializing in her mother's possession, then I would say that it's with her and she's being trafficked. I mean, much like Taylor Casey could be. I think they had her, lost her, and found her again after the search. Nico, that's entirely possible. Wow. Yeah, she could have escaped. Like if they had her in the woods somewhere and she escaped, then she's going to have trouble finding her way out, and they're going to be able to catch her probably before she could find her way out. So yeah, like in that stupid Country for Kylie, where they're like, oh, we're just hoping she'll hear the music and know that we're thinking of her and that we love her and that we're looking for her. So yeah, I think that that's entirely possible. Hey, in your presence, there you are. Hey, everyone, currently in Reno. I flew in on first night of hot August nights. Tomorrow is going to be at Prosser again. Oh my goodness. So you and CB are both there and you're both here. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I just caught a couple of your videos flying into Reno and hanging out in the deli that the last fake proof of life was in. Yesterday, I was out there. Be careful what meat you order. I don't know if that's an inside joke, but I'm kind of thinking in your presence, it sounded like you're a vegetarian from some of the things you said on your videos, but I don't know if you are or not. Tonight will be 2 years exactly. And this is why I felt so compelled to come on. And thank you for reminding us, because yeah, 12:36 being the last ping puts it over into August 6th, which they're very happy to put it over into August 6th just to skew the timeline that much more, right? I mean, that's perfect as far as trying to skew the timeline. It'll be interesting to see if their annual party is still happening. Sacrificial party, in my opinion. Wow. Yeah, big time. And that's amazing. Yeah, I'm just so happy to have you guys here. Thanks for honoring me with your company. It means a lot, especially on this night. Very emotional. I could just cry. We want Kylie. We want justice for Kylie. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if she were not deceased? But I think that's more than highly unlikely. We just want the truth and justice for her. Like, how in the world is her little brother supposed to grow up and not be completely insane with all this bullcrap and lies? You can't do that to people. He will be, I hate to say it, but he'll be certifiable if the truth doesn't come. I mean, you can't raise children in lies like that without it affecting them greatly. I mean, he could be just toast, absolute toast. Let's see. They were hanging out, Anna Bees. In your presence says, yeah, you missed out, CB and I together right now. We just got back to the hotel from the tat shop. I got the number 17 as promised. Oh my goodness. This is wild. This is wild. I'm just going to say it because I'm sure that some losers will. Like, they could say, oh, she's obsessed with Kylie. They could say that about me. They could say that about you. They could say that about any of us. And no, I don't think of it like that at all. I think that Kylie speaks to us on a very deep level. Her music, her spirit. And yeah, what is up with that 17? And remember, they tried to identify her by her tattoo that was on her hip, not her ribs. And you cannot use a tattoo as confirmation of identity for that purpose. It's absolutely never not absolute. You just can't. But I'm happy for you that you got the 17 tattooed. And did you do it at Mags's mom's tattoo shop? Did you have Mag's mom do it? Please share. And this is super cool. IYP in your presence. I'm like, I don't know IYP. Okay. Um, yeah, so lovely to see you guys all. Know some rug addicts. Mom thinks their daughters are online college in Mexico. Their daughters moved there for easy rug access, already addicts. Oh, how sad. CB and I measured from the two bushes to the point. It was 212 feet. Donner Party, is that the meat reference? Oh, thank you, Nico. You guys, I have done a lot of deep dives on that Donner Party since I watched some of the movie reenacting it and documentaries. And yeah, it is. I'm sure that's what the reference was. I'm just too thick to have gotten it. Thanks, Mingo, for tuning me in. I've been crying all and off the whole time. I believe it. I know. I know you cry a lot of tears for Kiely. I do too, but not nearly as many as you, my friend. Um, but yeah, we feel her. We feel her pain. We feel her suffering. We feel her crying out, right? We're on the 17th floor. Wow. Did you request that or was that just random? That's wild. But tattoos can move like that on their own. Yeah, they can, Nico. That I was going to say that. Yeah, I mean, skin slides around. Not to be too graphic and gory, but yeah, I mean, at our hotel. No, I had it done somewhere else. $100 for 2 digits. Anything for Kiely. That's so cool. Yeah, what part of your body did you get it on? The ribs or somewhere else? I'm choked up whole time. Oh, I know, I know. And then, currently we still have Taylor Casey missing. And I believe that Taylor Casey was targeted much the same way I believe that Kiely was targeted. I don't think there's been any updates on her. It is getting very desperate and hopeless feeling to me. And I can only imagine for her friends and family. And I can't understand why the military is not down there in the Bahamas demanding answers because she had served in the Air Force. And really, the military should be down there demanding answers for any missing American, in my opinion, but especially somebody who served our country. But, that brings to mind all of the parties that were searching for Kiely. And there was one of them that I wrote it down. The Regional Threat Assessment Centers, August 9th. Over 150 sworn officers, over 100 professional staff, intelligence agencies, including regional threat assessment centers. Why on earth? These are words from Sam Brown on August 9th. Why on earth would they have regional threat assessment centers there on top of Homeland Security, on top of the FBI, on top of the U.S. Marshals? Thousands of volunteers at base camp. And the counseling services at the rec center for anybody who saw anything gruesome, right? And they had Marine units. And they had this phone number, option 7 for the tip line. I'm going to read you guys the phone number. Can one of the mods put this in chat? This was the phone number that they gave out during this early part of the search. 530-581-6320. I'll say it again. 530-581-6320. That was the tip line. And option 7 was what they said. I kind of wonder what would happen if a bunch of us called 530-581-6320, if there is still a number like that with the 7 tip line, and demanded answers and information about Kiely. I just can't help but wonder. So, let's see. And then that other couple that was missing, what were their names? I think I have it right here. No, maybe I don't have their names, but the other couple that went missing from the Hot August Nights, like, coincidence? I've never understood if there is any connection, if anyone thinks there's any connection. Yes, Nico, the Donner Party was my meat reference. Jazz caught me in the ladies' room and I couldn't type. See, and like I said, sometimes I'm just so freaking slow. It's hilarious. That's why I have you guys here. Also, yesterday we went by the charter school and took pictures of the bench dedicated in her memory and for her honor. How cool is that? Yeah. Now, is there just the one bench or are there 2 benches for her in Truckee? Because I remember Squirrel Girl wanted to have a bench in her honor, and then she ran into a lot of heat from that. And so I don't know if that is the butterfly bench at the charter school or if that's a different one. I kind of think there might be 2. Can you tell me in your presence if you know? Also, yesterday we went, I read that one. Let's see, thought more of her than her alleged mom. Well, again, going back to this Truth Seeker video that she just dropped, and just the images, the still shots that she put in the video of Lindsay's face are so repulsive, and it just looks like she knows things that she's not sharing. I mean, she's trying to keep a straight face. Remember, she even made that really weird comment about how I'm trying to trick everybody into making it look like I've got it all together. And you think I have it all together because I'm so good at tricking you. Like, she really stumbled over her words. And again, I think she was really telling on herself. That's the problem with lying, is that you pretty much always end up telling on yourself. So don't lie, folks. Also, yesterday we went by the church. Okay, I'm going to keep reading that again and again because that's just a really meaningful. Sorry. You should put that number in chat. Yes. Phone number. There it is. Here, I'm going to highlight it. Option 7. So I haven't called it, but I wrote it down and I thought it would be interesting, especially if we call it tonight and tomorrow with it being the anniversary, right? It can't hurt. I mean, heck, I'll call it. I'll see what happens. I wonder if the bench was gifted to them by Squirrel Girl. And as I'm saying that, I'm thinking, should I just call it right now, you guys? Let's just do this. Okay, 530. 581 6320. It's probably something else now. Let's see. I got it on speaker.
You have reached the Butler County Sheriff's Office Tahoe Investigations Unit. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Please make your selection from the following menu choices. If you have general questions or would like information about a case, please press 6 for Investigations Assistant Kristen Mann. To leave an anonymous tip, please press 7, followed by 1 for English and 2 for Spanish. To speak with Detective Sergeant Michael Powers, please press 1.
Should we do 6 or 7?
Detective John Riella, please press 3.
I'll do
To
6.
speak with Detective David Dito, please press 4. One moment, please.
I did 6, not 7. 7 was for a hot tip. 6 was if you had questions about a case.
You have reached Investigations Assistant Kristen Mann. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible. If you have an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you would like to make an appointment for fingerprints, please contact our records division at 581-6301. Thank you and have a nice day. Usted ha conectado con Cristina. Por favor.
I'm going to leave a message. Hi, Miss Mann. I am calling about the Kiely Rodney case, the 16-year-old that went missing 2 years ago. And then the California Highway Patrol still hasn't made their accident report. And they tried to say that she drove herself into the lake when there was no water in her lungs. And she was in the boot of the CRV. That case is just haunting. And I'm just wondering what's really going on there. If there is a bigger investigation, like why the CHP wouldn't have their report done and why just all the shenanigans. It's the 2-year anniversary tonight and tomorrow, and it is just heartbreaking. There needs to be some truth and justice for Kiely Rodney. Thank you. All right. I did it. So you guys, let's swamp them with things if you want. Let's see, I'm going to catch up. I wonder if the bench was gifted to them by Squirrel Girl. Yeah, she wanted to, and then I don't know if she did or not. I called, the line was disconnected. Oh, well, I got through, Nico. Maybe you dialed incorrectly, or maybe there was something wrong with the line or something. Scami will answer life insurance hotline. How may we help you? Oh, you're funny, Granny Annie. Juan and Jeanette. Thanks, Annabees. Yeah, and weren't they like a broken up couple? Because that's the thing about Jägermeister and Kiely that was odd too, was that they were broken up and then they tried to make it sound like they were back together. They were broken up. And, breakups are hard. And I don't know. I'm still suspicious of Jägermeister. So the Hot August Nights was from the 28th of July to August 6th. Okay, so that was the last night. Thank you in your presence. You guys can hear my little yappy dog. I thought 8/5 was the final night of Hot August Nights in 2022. Right. You might be right. Because, then 8/6 would be Saturday, and I don't know. I think it was the last night, wasn't it? Isn't that why she allegedly was going to go with her parents, but then didn't and went to the party, allegedly? No, it is not. And there's only one bench, and YouTube has nothing to do with it or any creator. Okay, cool. Good to know. That is amazing that you're there, girl. August 6th was the last night. Okay. Lindsay was lied to just as us. She was probably lied to at first, but then I think she was given information. It seems like, when she changed gears so quickly, when she was like, oh, it's cool that they didn't do an Amber Alert, but, we do need to fix it for the next person that's next missing kid. But, it's too late for Kiely. When there was no knowledge that it was too late for Kiely. Like that was still like August 9th, 10th. And allegedly Kiely was still missing. But no, I think Lindsay had some information. I think she was lied to initially. And then I think she lied to everybody, in my opinion. I just read Granny's life insurance joke. Molly Cole and Brandon Cole were brother and sister who went to school in Bend, Oregon. Their father was a general in the Army. My sister was Molly's friend. They all look the same as I remember. Molly Cole and Brendan Cole. Not sure what you're referring to. funny. I'm pretty sure Molly lived in Redmond. She had twins, was married to a Mr. Brown. No, don't. Are you talking about the phone call? No, don't. I think she named her daughter Daisy too. Oh, Molly Cole, Brendan Cole, brother and sister. Okay, so you're talking about Megan Cole. And their father was a general in the army. Not Big Daddy D, Big D. Um, so answering machine at the sheriff. Yeah, it's because let's see, it's 8 o'clock East Coast time, so it'd be 5 o'clock there, and yeah, maybe their office hours. Um, yeah, but that wasn't like their main number. That was just their tip line or a couple other things, right? Um, but yeah, I know when I called it, I thought probably a person is going to answer, and then what'll I do? Hang up? Or just ask the same question. I want to know what's going on with Kylie Rodney. Where is Kylie's car? I need that black box. Where the F is it? Yes, in your presence. I don't know with that year, 2013, if there would be like a black box like there are with the later models. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think that car with the cow with horns sticker on it was hers. I think they put the cow with horns sticker on it to say, yep, that's her car, the one with the cow with the horn sticker on it. You know, the whole thing with the hubcaps and the sunroof. And then taking it off, removing that sticker at the tow yard. Weird. I called in August of 2022. Oh, good for you, Nico. Good for you. Yeah. Um, no, Squirrel Girl is not involved with the bench at all. And Jen, did Molly and Brandon disappear? So I think what they were saying is that could be, isn't Brandon Cole MC Ultra's son's first name? I don't know. But remember that Megan Cole, MC Ultra, had a brother unalive, unattended, by allegedly falling down a flight of stairs. I think he was like 28 years old, and I think it was 10 or 20 years ago, probably more like 20 years ago. But it was an unattended unaliving, which should always be treated as there's foul play involved until you can rule out foul play. So, you know, it could be that he passed away in an unfortunate accident. I don't know if there was a tox screen done, if it was alleged if he was intoxicated or something. But that's pretty weird for a 28-year-old to fall down a flight of stairs fatally. That's pretty freaking uncommon. But, you know, this is Truckee that we're dealing with. So who knows? And Jen says, I'm not sure, but the family did have ties to Truckee. Gotta go. Dinner, Jazz. Enjoy your dinner, CB. Thanks for hanging out. The father was involved in something in Indonesia, General Cole. It was disconnected days into the investigation. Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. They didn't want all of the calls, right? That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. So, I'm not sure you understand the intel I'm trying to provide. I'm not understanding it. I know you're alluding to something, but no, I don't know what it is. Maybe the trafficking, Jen? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, you can say it more directly if you want. Yeah, enjoy your dinner, CB. And I don't know if that means that in your presence is going for dinner as well. But yeah. Let's see. Jen, we are missing your message. The general had a family born in Oregon, raised in Truckee. Yeah, I'm not sure. So, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if, I don't know, there was like a protest for Kiely in downtown Truckee tomorrow, or protest at the California Highway Patrol office? Like, get the freaking report done. It's been 2 years. Are they procrastinating? Like, unless they're actually doing a real investigation of something much bigger, which I would love to think that that's the case, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm not going to get my hopes up. And have you guys been following the Black Swan red rum in Florida? You know, the 24-year-old woman who shot and unalived her 54-year-old husband, Ashley Benefield. And so they had the trial last week. She was found guilty of manslaughter. And then this week they're doing the sentencing. And this is what I wanted to share. Do you know that Mr. Benefield's first wife passed away in an unattended fatality? 56 years old, quote unquote, an undiagnosed heart condition. This was on December 2nd of 2015. Renee Kuzer Benefield, I think is how you say the last name. It's kind of like Banfield, but not. So Renee, I believe that Ashley thinks that Renee was poisoned by the husband, and that Ashley believes that she was being poisoned as well. But what I find really awful is that in Ashley's trial, they're not allowed to bring up anything about Renee and her untimely expiration. I mean, that is just too weird to me. That is very suspicious. Again, unattended, easy to, you can easily poison somebody and make it look like a heart attack, make it look like there's an undiagnosed heart condition, because the poison will mimic a heart attack. It'll like give the person an enlarged heart. So I find that really curious. I haven't really been following that case, but I did follow some of that over the weekend. Oh, and this I wanted to share with you guys, the Evansdale, Iowa case. I don't know if you're familiar with this case. It's 12 years old. Lyric Cook was 10 years old. Lyric Cook Morrissey and her cousin, 8-year-old Elizabeth Collins, on a bicycle ride, abducted. Their remains discovered 5 months later, like 25 miles away. Still unsolved. 2 little kids in this small town. Evansdale, Iowa is like less than 5,000 people, you guys. I had tried to bring it up like a month or 2 ago, and I was really confused because there's Evansville, Indiana or Illinois, and then I was all confused. But Evansdale, Iowa. I looked it up. I was really sure about it because this is what I wanted to share. In a couple of days, HBO Max is releasing a 3-part series of the unsolved mystery, and hopefully they'll get somewhere. But the fact that it's been 12 years, to me, reeks of a cover-up, because in this day and age, in a small town like that, they should have been able to figure it out by now. That's ridiculous. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. This is just so disgusting. So look for that on HBO Max if you're interested. I'm waiting with bated breath. It's August 8th is the day that they drop the series. So I also wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about True Crime Rocket Science in a recent video that he made about Meredith Kircher. But let me stay caught up with you guys too. Hey, Sandra Lankford, how are you doing? Are you in the hurricane zone? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in and saying hello, my dear. That was a couple of minutes ago. Small groups or no one can make a difference. I feel I got that child essay person 26.5 years. Possibly somebody can walk into CHP office and ask. Granny Annie, what a great idea. If they're feeling up to it, if they're feeling brave. Absolutely. So the judge asked me why I was at the trial too late of sentencing. Yeah, it's despicable how late the sentencing is for things like this. And then there was that Chad Doerman that pled guilty to shooting his 3 sons last week in Ohio. It happened many months ago. And I told you guys about it in my last video, my last true crime video. And it wasn't until I was reviewing the video that I realized I said his 4 sons. So he had 3 little sons. He still has a stepdaughter. So the stepdaughter was trying to protect the little babies. I think they were like 2 and 4 and 5. And there's a presser about the results of the whole trial and the plea agreement or what have you. I haven't had the stomach to watch it yet. I live in Ohio. This happened in Ohio. Chad Doerman. Absolutely despicable. And if you've seen the body cams of the police when they arrived to the crime scene, and I just commend those law enforcement officers for not kicking the life out of Chad Doerman as they were figuring out what was going on. And you can see how much they want to unleash their fury on him, and they are so tame and doing their job and arresting him with the least amount of force necessary. I mean, a lot of cops would have opened a can of whoop ass on him, and I wouldn't blame them one bit. He deserved about 1 million cans of whoop ass. What a sick freak. Anyway, let's see. Where are we at? Close, just raining all day and windy. Oh, you're lucky that you're not getting the hurricane stuff. So, yeah. I want to call BS on this Kiely Rodney case. It occurs to me now that I've left that voicemail for the law enforcement there. Of course, they're going to have my return phone number, and that's fine. Maybe they'll call me back. I doubt it. But yeah, that's just something to consider. If you're going to send in emails or you're going to make phone calls, they're going to have your contact information then, even if you're quote unquote anonymous. That's what's so stupid about when they asked for all those anonymous tips. It's like there's no such thing as anonymous with law enforcement, and you'd be really naive to think that there is. I mean, not if you're calling, not if you're talking to them. Maybe if you type up a letter and send it from some other city that you're not actually from or something. I don't know. So True Crime Rocket Science did this, I think it was a roughly 10-minute video about something that a lot of us missed that Amanda Knox said, where she really gave herself away. And I'm going to link True Crime Rocket Science's video in the description because it's so good. And he's absolutely right. He's very astute. He's studied this case inside and out. He's written, I think, 6 books total about the case. 3 of one type and 3 of another type. So I think a half a dozen altogether. But some of these things he said, that he's reiterating what Amanda Knox said, that she didn't know where Meredith would be that day that Meredith was essayed and red-rummed. She didn't know where Meredith would be, which is funny because to phrase it like that, I didn't know where Meredith would be, makes it sound like she's wondering where Meredith would be. But she would know exactly where Meredith would be because she was her roommate. They didn't share an actual room, but they shared a bathroom. Their bedrooms were right next to each other. And then there was another bathroom that the other 2 roommates had their own rooms. But none of the other roommates were around that weekend. It was like a holiday weekend. So she knew where Meredith was going to be. And she was also upset because Meredith had gone out to party with her other friends the night before. And Amanda didn't really have friends. People didn't like Amanda. She was rude, obnoxious. She did things like carried a small SEX toy on her keyring. Like, you know, who does that? A DILDO. I don't want to say it. I'll just spell it. A small thing on her keyring. Like, that's the kind of personality Amanda Knox had. So, you know, she was just partying hard in Italy. Meredith was going out to party with her friends the night before. Amanda had texted her a bunch of times trying to catch up with her, and Meredith didn't return a single text. So then the next day, Meredith's sleeping in, and Knox goes back to the house because she knew where Meredith would be. And she was upset. They had a verbal altercation. Knox admits to that. But I think it was a lot more than that. There was the 300 euros, the rent money that Meredith had in her room that was then missing. She had it in cash. And I think Meredith confronted Knox about that. And then you might remember that Knox had about 250 euros on her person when she was arrested. And that was the same amount of Meredith's rent money minus a pizza and some lingerie that she was busy shopping for during Meredith's candlelight vigil or the memorial service. I'm not sure which. I think it was the candlelight vigil. But either way, she was out at the lingerie shop with her boyfriend, allegedly spending Meredith's money on new underpants and saying there were people that witnessed them in the lingerie shop. And she was saying, we're going to have fun with these tonight, aren't we? Allegedly. Anyway, Knox's alibi was that while Meredith was asleep in her room, Knox was just having a quiet night at home alone reading. So she places herself at the house, and that's solid information right there because that's where it happened. And this is a party girl who's saying that she's happy to have solitude at home reading on, I think it was a Saturday night. And it was the night after the, Halloween is the 31st of October, obviously. Then November 1st is when they really celebrate like the Day of the Dead in Italy. And that was the partying from the night before. And then this was November 2nd when Meredith was assaulted in her own room. And yeah, I think that Amanda Knox still has a can of whoop-ass coming her way in the form of justice. hopefully. I mean, as long as she keeps talking about her case, and I don't think she can stop. She's such a narcissist. I don't think she can stop talking about her case, and she will hang herself. I mean, that's what lawyers hope for, is that people will keep talking until they hang themselves. Like with NK in the Watts case, when you're watching these videos of the interviews, the investigation, it might look like law enforcement is being ridiculous, letting NK just kind of like run into the weeds and talk about macros and plants and whatever she can think of other than the deceased that they're there to talk about and her relationship with the guy whose family is deceased. But in actuality, they're doing a good job by just allowing her to keep talking and just making her comfortable to just let it rip, because in doing that, she says a lot of things that she did not intend to say, like when she talks about how tall the girls are, or many, many slips of the tongue. So let's see where you guys are at. Sandra says, I've been told I would have been a good in law enforcement, but that is where I would fall or fail. Come up on occurring scene, pop justice served, doesn't sit in prison, coasting we the people. Kind of hard to read your thing, but I think I got it. I've been told I would have been good in law enforcement, but that is where I would fail. I come up on an occurring scene, and then like vigilante justice served and doesn't sit in prison, costing we the people. Yeah. So I am going to wind down. We're just over an hour and 10 minutes, and I appreciate you guys being here. There is probably one last thing I want to include before I wrap up, and really just honoring Kiely, honoring our YouTube content creators that are there on site. Like, that's magnificent. I would imagine that some of the content creators are going to have some really good Kiely videos over the next 24 hours. And I am just beside myself. I want justice for Kiely, and I want justice for Taylor. I really want justice for Taylor Casey. I want her to be found. I want her to be found safe. I want both of them to be found safe, but I think that's highly unlikely. As I said earlier, it's good to have hope, and it's also good to be realistic. So Mr. Mark, I know he has been a busy bee. I try to keep up with his videos. It is very challenging. He is so productive. It's amazing. He asks so many good questions. So I highly recommend keeping up with that. And Ninja too. They're both just churning them out. So a while ago, I had mentioned a movie to you guys that I wanted to re-mention. It's called All the Queen's Horses, and it's a true story. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a documentary about Rita Crudwell, who was the city manager for Dixon, Illinois, and she stole about $50 million over the course of 20 years. And Dixon, Illinois, did I say Indiana? Dixon, Illinois is a small town. It's like maybe 8,000 people, I think. And that's a lot of money. So she was busted. She served some prison time. She's been released from prison. But the reason why I think it's so important to recommend watching this movie, All the Queen's Horses, is that it really demonstrates how easy it is for government officials to get away with crimes. And the whole reason that they even made this documentary was to demonstrate that for the public, because Dixon, Illinois is not the only city that's had a government official embezzle money from them. It happens probably in every city. So it's just that very few get caught because they're the ones that are in control of who sees what they're doing. And they're usually really good about not letting anyone see what they're doing, or the only people that might know are getting paid off. So allegedly Rita was operating on her own. I don't know if I buy that completely, but the mistake that she made was she left town. She took time off a lot, but she usually kept it, kept her thumb on the pulse beat of everything. But it was this one time when she left town and her assistant discovered something, and then all hell broke loose. So all the Queen's Horses, it's really well done. It's Amazon Prime. And then on HBO Max, looking for the Evansdale, Iowa case of Lyric and Elizabeth. So sad. And on that, I'm going to say peace out. Prayers for justice for Kiely. Prayers for a safe return of Taylor Casey. And prayers for justice for all these people that are not getting justice for their loved ones. So thanks so much for joining me, you guys. And make sure you take really good care of yourself tonight. Stay hydrated, well nourished, well rested. Be kind to yourself, kind to other people. If you're interested in checking out the yoga videos, I'm trying to fine tune and, make my routine better. I'm excited about the video that I just did this morning. So my latest one with the demonstration, so verbal and visual cues, and I've just made a few slight changes. So I'm continuing to do that. I'm doing my routine every day. I try to videotape it every day so that I can keep making it better and better for all of us. All right. So peace out, light and love. Thanks again, and hit that like button, please. See you on the next one. And end.